Hello, my name is Dr. Stephen Yip, Project Director of CLAP at JC under the Education University of Hong Kong. Well, CLAP at JC is a mega project funded and created by the Hong Kong Charities, Jockey Club Charities Trust to support young people's career and life development. Sometimes we call it career guidance in Hong Kong. After the first 5 years of this project, the CLAP at JC entered into its second phase in 2020. And by creating a Hong Kong benchmarks for career and life development, HKBM, embedding all key concepts and also tools of the phase one, and also with reference to the global standards that is enacted by the Gatsby benchmarks in UK. Now, we have 1/3 of Hong Kong secondary schools adopted this HKBM now. Well, if you ask what is HKBM, HKBM is comprising 10 main benchmarks. One is in the area of school policy for career guidance. Second is the career guidance leadership and also professional training. Third is multiple pathway information learning by all the students. Fourth is actually the catering for the students' diversity. Number 5 is actually about the students' co-creations and agency. This is actually a Hong Kong special one due to their local needs. And also, number 6 is the individual guidance from young, because most of the Hong Kong practice, the traditional practice of career guidance is mainly happening in the last 2 years to 3 years before they entering matriculation or mentoring at university. Number 7 is about curriculum learning of CLD. And also number 7 and also 8 is about the meaningful encounter with workplace and also further study institutions. And finally, number 10 is the parents' involvement, which is have a lot of localized characteristics in Hong Kong or in Chinese culture. Okay, now we go to the first question that we really want to address and share with you is about, do we have any evidence that career guidance, or we call it CLD, have any correlation or connected with the development of child's potential? Well, this question is a big question, but I can give you several findings that is according to our evidence throughout the last 5 years. Our evidence shows that career guidance, especially with a broader definition, that means not just in a career information and counseling, but more than that, actually indeed make a significant impact on individual students' career readiness, and also in some areas of students' social affective domain, such as self-concept, attitude to school, motivation, goals of life, and other important aspects that they in their youth development. And also, according to our database, we also found that there are 83% of school career teachers find that, the HKBM approach can reduce their workload. That is a good news nowadays. And also, recently, a longitudinal study of 1,964 students from 33 schools using the structural equation modeling, SEM, and we found that there is a direct effect of individual BMs, individual benchmarks, the 10 benchmark I mentioned before, and also good, school CLD activities serve as a very important mediator to demonstrating that deep HKBM implementation, which drives students' engagement in school and also career readiness. At school level, we also found that, the CLD schools, have doubled their average CLD participation over 2 years after they adopting the HKBN. And that sort of a participation rate is surpassed OECD 2022 average. And also that also meaning that there is a concrete improvement in the CLD provision. Now come to the questions about who are the key players in CLD in schools? Well, first of all, other than just career teachers, in Hong Kong, which have been existing for quite a long time, there are several very important identified key players. The first one is school principal, the head teachers, and or sometimes it's the senior management. They are actually playing a very important role, especially in the whole school benchmark approach using the HKBN. The qualitative study have shown that principal roles become augmented through the HKBN process as co-creator, co-evaluator, and also a culture shaper using CLD or career guidance as the catalyst. In the past, before they actually adopted the HKBN, most of the head teachers only have a role in career guidance as policy balancer and also resource supplier. So actually, they are being more professional into the decision-making of career provisions in schools. Second, very important key players is parents, especially in the Chinese families. Involving parents is very important because sometimes they involve too much or sometimes they involve too little. And I think it's appropriately, to introduce them with appropriate parenting strategies. And also school is actually a good platform for parents and also students and also professional teachers together to actually co-creating their career pathways. So now also there is a third types of key players that we need to build up essentially for a school provision is the business partners, especially mentors or anyone come from the world of work. And these people are so scarce and also so important is because of most teachers are out of touch with the updated world of work. So this is so important to connect the students back to the updated workplace. So students, we don't need to really put students into work experience, but also we can actually asking these kind of business partners and mentors into schools and doing valuable, meaningful experience with the students to understand their own VASK values and also skills and also their own character. Also, they also understand about exploring different types of vocational careers. So they offer like a bridge that they can actually connect it with the outside world. Okay, now come to the questions about what contributes to the good cooperation at different levels. And surely, when you ask this question, in a nutshell, it is the HKBN. And the HKBN as the contributor to this kind of good collaboration is that it provides, I would call it, ecologically smart tool for schools to drive people towards CLD, good CLD. Well, there are several points that are using Michael Fullan, one of the important scholar in educational change, to illustrate the essence of how the contribution of HKBN in schools do. The first thing is because as a HKBN as a tool, it's have a very good alignment with government policies. Because if it's not aligned with policies, it's a separate not connected types of initiative, which schools do not like. So it has a very important ecological intelligence in it. So it will be connected with the government career guidance policies, STEM policies, and also, most importantly, the policy or the framework of school accountability. That means about how schools self-evaluating their own education provision. In this case, it's career provisions. Second point is about focusing on equality. It's important. And this is HKBM always is a reliable map for all, education for all, which is so important. We don't want one missing or being disadvantaged in terms of opportunities towards this ECLD. Number 3 is about the focusing on the systemness, which means is actually the HKBM provides a concrete and succinct framework to enable for school leaders to systematically follow and also to learn. This actually will be very, very useful when in the time of having schools with a high turnover rate. That means, because if there's a new career leaders or young leaders, they need good music scores to perform well. And HKBM is a good music score for them to conduct and also to lead the whole school approach. Now, come to the fourth point I wish to mention about the good cooperation is actually emphasizing well-being in learning. And this actually happens in the whole HKBM, which promotes agency focus and is talking about multi-level of empowerment and learning of the organizations. And evidence shows that the key is to build the sense of agency among different key players, including students. And we have something like, student ambassador for the CLD who've been trained for weeks in order to actually learn how to design good activities for their peers, the younger peers, or even primary students to understand, also to plan for their own career pathways. So we found it really useful and also evidence supporting the activate. Lastly, it's highlighting the social intelligence. Schools always work in silo, and also career teachers also work in silo. And the only way to break the silo is to use the cross-sector or multi-agency approach to enhance the positive social trust and also unleashing the lateral energy. So we actually put a lot of schools together in something like 6 to 7 schools in the school hub to learn each other's, to share different practices, sharing resources, sharing the alumni list so that they can also know, oh, you got as a radiologist or data scientist as a parent. So you can actually ask them to share with another school to the student about their own career exploration. And also the model of introducing critical friends is one of the very important parts in the whole project. And I find career guidance needs critical friends because of critical friends from outside, from the business, and also critical friends from school, and also critical friends with university and experts are so important to actually build up a ecologically friendly types of environment for school to grow with the students to have a good career guidance. So this is my sharing, and I hope you have a very nice day. Thank you very much.